When songwriting, it's important to focus on 3 key things. In this video, I'm going to tell you what they are and how to apply them for the next time you write. Jumping straight into it, the first one is storytelling. This allows the listener to follow along the song in a natural way. People don't just like songs, they remember the way that they made them feel. When was the last time you listened to a song and you thought, this song's about me? That's actually genius songwriting. They know how to synthesize this feeling, package it up in a song, and make sure that you feel it every time you listen to it, so you'll come back and listen to more and more and more. People relate songs to their own lives, so you need to speak generally in songs rather than ultra specific. For example, singing in a song and you went to the Queen's Head on the corner of Baker Street isn't going to appeal to as many people as saying you went to the bar on the corner of the road. This way it's left far more open to interpretation, and the listener can apply their own lives and their own story to that very specific situation. A good story takes the listener through the journey of the character's life, through the tension, through the highs and the lows, as well as the resolution at the end. If you can do this with your songs like the Beatles did with Eleanor Rigby, or John Bellion does with Father Figure, you can follow those storylines as well as apply it to your own life. Always have a template you can refer back to if you're ever struggling to songwrite. So my default template, if I ever struggle, is I'm going to go on a date, I'm going to describe what the person's wearing, what I'm wearing, where are we, how did we get there, if we're at a bar, what drink, what do we eat, what does the sky look like, what's the weather like. All of these things are great descriptors that you can put into your song to really make it more relatable and more of a visceral experience. Stories in songs also help you paint a picture. When people are listening to it, they're not only thinking about how it made them feel or what the actual words are, but they're also putting imagery to the song that you've written. So if you can be very descriptive in what the scene looks like, how the person was feeling, what they were wearing, all of these descriptors, it's a great way to increase that picture in their mind, like 4K rather than 360p. Next key point, you must have a punchline. So usually this is the song title, but generally it can be anything that you want it to be. For me, I always put the punchline at the end of my choruses. For example, in my song Home to Me, I actually emphasize the words home to me by dropping out all the backing music.
Hey, hey, do you ever stop to wonder when we're next to one another, if you and me are meant to be? 'Cause wherever we are, you're home to me.
Another way to make your punchline stand out is by not making it rhyme. Usually through the chorus, you'll have sort of an A, B, B, A, B, B type setup, or you'll have like the first line rhymes, or the first line is the first one, the second line is not rhyming to the first one, then the third one relates back to the first line, and the fourth one relates to the second line. You can break this pattern for the punchline because you really want it to stand out. Humans love pattern interrupts, and if you can have a rhyming scheme all the way through and then that final line stands out because maybe it's shorter, not the same amount of syllables, or if all the backing music drops out and the syllables don't line up and it doesn't rhyme, people are going to remember that and come back to listen to it again and again and again. The final point is structure. Now you probably know the most used structures at this point, but in case you don't, it's verse, chorus, then sort of a bridge, and then back to a final chorus. Following this template, if you've not done much songwriting before, is really helpful, but also the pros do it all the time, so if you can just master songwriting in this style, you'll be well away. Think of it as the verses give context to the chorus, so you can do all the descriptors that we were talking about earlier with the verses, you can talk about where you are, what you're wearing, what you're doing, then the choruses should be a celebration of that, or maybe even a foreshadow to how you want the story to end up. For example, if the character in the story is going on a date, you might say in the first verse how the first date went, and then in the chorus, you're already going to be like celebrating how it ends, or maybe crying about how it didn't go the way you wanted to, but you can foreshadow how the storyline through the verses is actually going to go in the chorus itself. Bonus tip, if you want to songwrite like a pro, you can follow this energy chart, which takes you through how you want people to feel throughout the song. So as you can see, the energy level generally builds throughout the song, however you can take away energy in the bridge to really give that final chorus a proper kick and some real punch. If you found value in this video, make sure to like and subscribe, but also if you want to see me actually doing live songwriting, check out that video there, or maybe I'm live right now, you might be able to go and watch me do it actually live. I'm doing 100 days in a row of writing a 100-song album. Join along for the journey, give me your input in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye!